Hi, I'm Kelsey from Crafting for Weeks, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to make this cute little warty pumpkin. This pattern uses a series of bobble stitches in various sizes to get this kind of random looking texture here. Okay, so aside from just your yarn, you're also going to need some stuffing so you have some squish, and you're going to need some sort of stem. I've used a stick for mine, I just found it in my yard, but you can use a variety of different things. I will link a blog post with some ideas for you. So I'm using a 5mm crochet hook for this, and I'm going to be using Lion brand ReSpun yarn. This is a worsted weight yarn. It's a little bit on the lighter side, but gauge isn't too important for this pattern, so if your worsted weight is a little heavier, your pumpkin will be just slightly bigger. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start off here with a slip knot. We're going to be working this pumpkin flat, so I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. Then I'm going to chain 20. I take that back. I'm going to chain 21, and then I'm going to work 20 stitches across. So chain 21. I'm going to assume that all of you know how to do chains, so I'm not going to break that down for you. I will show you some of the more complex stitches in this pattern, but for now I'm just going to get you to the end of this chain real quick here. Okay, so we have 21 chains, and we are going to single crochet in the second chain from your hook. And I'm actually going to pause right here and zoom you in just a tad so you can see better. So let me move my camera and we will pick this back up. Okay, so you're going to be working 20 single crochets across. If you like to work in the back bumps, that's fine. For this, I'm just going to work right into the chain. Sorry, these single crochets are a little bit boring, so I'm just going to speed through this section and then we will get going. So I'm going to do one single crochet in each chain across, and once I get to the end here, I will turn it, and then we will work our first set of bobbles on the next row. Okay, so we have 20 single crochets and we are ready to turn this. So this is our right side, and when we turn to do our second row, this will be our wrong side. So this is the side that all the bobbles are going to go on. And if you didn't catch that little chain one, I did a chain one and turn. And now I'm going to work my first bobble series. So I'm going to do one single crochet, and then I'm going to work a double crochet bobble. There are two sizes of double crochet bobbles in this one. This one is going to be a 5 double crochet bobble. Okay, so let me walk you through this. Yarn over and insert your hook into the stitch. Oh, let me try that again. Yarn over, insert it into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Do that again. Yarn over, insert it into the same stitch, pull up a loop, and pull through 2 loops only. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull through 2. We've done 3 bobbles so far, 3 double crochets so far. Again, so 4. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull up the loop, and pull through 2. That's 4 double crochets. We have 5 loops on our hook right now. So we're going to do one more time. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, so we've done 5 double crochet, half of them, and we have 6 loops on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At this point, we're going to yarn over, we're going to pull through all 6 loops, and then we're going to chain 1 to close this bobble. That is our first bobble stitch. It's going to look a little poofy in the front and kind of like a little dent in the back. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then we are going to be working a 7 double crochet bobble in the following stitch. This is going to look a lot like the first one. So we're going to yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over, and pull through 2. Yarn over in the same stitch. We're going to do that again. That's 2 double crochets. Again will be 3. Let me pull up some yarn really quick. Okay, yarn over, insert same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 4. Okay, 5, Now we're going to do 2 more, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to pull through those 2. Now we have done 7. So let me count my loops real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yarn over, pull through all 8 loops on your hook, and chain 1 to close the bobble. Okay, so we have done our bigger bobble here. You can see it from the front. We are going to single crochet in the next stitch, and then we are going to, let me get this out of the way, and then we are going to single crochet again in the following stitch, so 2 single crochets. Now after that, we are going to go back to our 5 double crochet bobble. So the next stitch will be a repeat of that first bobble. Let me show you again. I'm going to move a little quicker this time. Remember, we're doing a yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, and pull through 2. So we're going to do that a total of 5 times, leaving us with 6 loops on our hook. Once we have 6 loops, we are going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through all 6 loops, chain 1 to close the bobble. All right, now we single crochet in between, and then we're going to do our 7 double crochet bobble. So I'm going to again do this fairly quickly, and it's following those same steps: yarn over, insert it into the stitch, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and just repeating that for a total of 7 double crochets. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 8 loops on your hook. So this will give us a bigger version of that bobble that we just completed. Okay, I'm at 8 loops here. I'm going to yarn over, pull through all 8 loops on my hook, chain 1 to close. Then I'm going to do 2 single crochets again. So this is my repeating pattern across. It's going to be the 5 double crochet bobble, single crochet, 7 double crochet bobble, and then 2 single crochets. So we have 2 more groups of these to do. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and skip ahead to the end of those 2 groups, and I'll show you how to finish the row and to turn and come back. Okay, so here we are. We have just finished our second set, and that's the 7 double crochet bobble, and we have 1 stitch left. So you're going to single crochet in that last stitch, and that is the end of the second row. That first row was single crochets. The second row is actually the bobbles. Here it is from the front, and I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to work back across, and this is just going to be single crochets. So I'm just going to kind of show you where to place them. So obviously this first one, you're going to just be putting your single crochet right on top of that single crochet from the previous row. The next one, you can work either in the eye of the stitch, which is kind of like that little hole right there, or you can work in the top of the bobble. I like to work in the top of the bobble just because the stitch is more open, but either of those work. Just pick one, not both. So we're going to single crochet in the top, and then we have a single crochet in between. It's a little bit hard to see, but don't skip it. Single crochet in between the bobbles, and then we are going to single crochet in the top of the bobble here, and we have 2 single crochets in between, and we're going to repeat that across. So I'll show you again a little bit slower and then speed you to the end. So we're going in the top of the bobble, and then we are going, oh, pardon me, a little baby knot here. Let me just pull this out really quick. Anyways, and then we're going to single crochet in the single crochet between the bobbles, 1 single crochet in the top of the bobble, and then 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets in between. So you're just going to repeat that across, and I'm just going to kind of speed you to the end here, and then we'll do our next row. Okay, ta-da, we just finished our last single crochet of that row. We are going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to be doing another row of bobbles. We're working across the back, which is the wrong side. For this row, we're actually going to be using the same bobble stitches in just a different order. So we're going to start with 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to start with our 7 double crochet bobble first. So it's the same process. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull through 2. And we're going to do this 7 times. I'm not going to walk you through as specifically this time. I'm just going to let you watch. And once we have 8 loops on our hook, we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all 8 loops on our hook. Next, we have a couple more. And pull through all the loops. Chain 1 to close the bobble. And then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. So now we're going to do our 5 double crochet bobble. So we're going to go ahead and get this done really quick. Again, same process that we did earlier in the video. I just want to show you the stitch combination, how it differs from the first one. All right, so we're going to pull through all the loops on our hook, chain 1. Okay, we are going to single crochet 2 in between. So this is going to be the pattern across. 7 double crochet bobble, single crochet, 5 double crochet bobble, 2 single crochets, all the way until we get to the last 3 stitches. So I'm actually gonna kind of jump you ahead again. So here we go. Okay, last 3 stitches. It's going to be 7 double crochet bobble. So let's get this in real quick. And you will be left with 2 stitches to complete your row. Those last 2 stitches are just single crochet. So there are less bobbles in this row than the previous row, but they kind of nudge themselves in between. So I will show you that when we go back across. Here is our 7 double crochet bobble, and we are going to single crochet in each of these last 2 stitches. And don't forget this last one. Sometimes it gets a little hidden because if you're like me, you tend to tighten up a little bit as you go. All right, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And here you can kind of see how those bobbles are kind of nestled in between each other. That's what we're going for. And we are going to be single crocheting in each stitch across. Remember, as we go, 1 single crochet in each single crochet stitch and 1 single crochet in the top of each bobble. So there you saw me go in the top. Again, you can use either the chain 1 space or the top of the bobble when you do this. Just don't do both because then your stitch count will be off and we don't want that. So I'm going to finish this row of single crochets and then we will do our last row of unusual bobbles. Okay, so real quick, I want to do a teeny pause and just show you what it should look like before we move on. This is the back. This is the front. Here's what your bobble should look like from the back. And then we will move on to row 6 and 7 before we have repeats. Okay, so row 6 is unique from the other rows as it has a big weird bobble in it. So we are going to start with 2 single crochets. And then we're going to get into that big weird bobble. This is actually 3 5 double crochet bobbles crocheted together. You probably won't find this stitch anywhere else. It looks like this kind of long weirdo, and you won't find it anywhere else because I kind of made it up. So ta-da, you're gonna learn something new today. Okay, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. We're gonna do that 5 times. Now the kicker here is when we get to 5, we should have 6 loops on our hook. We're not going to pull through those 6 loops. So let's see. 1 more here. Okay, we have our 6. We're going to leave them on the hook. Don't pull through. Push them all the way down as far as you can. And I will actually go over what to do if they won't fit towards the end. But for now, just smush them. And we're going to yarn over and insert into the next stitch. And we're going to do 5 more in the next stitch. I know, it's wild. but we are going to have 11 stitches on our hook by the time we finish this one. And they're gonna feel snug. So I'm just warning you ahead of time when you're doing this stitch, those loops are gonna get snug. So let's just go ahead and make sure we have 11, smush them, yarn over, and you guessed it, into the third stitch there. You're gonna do 5 more. So I know that this is going to be tight for some people, especially if you have a short shaft on your crochet hook. If that is the case, you can experiment with doing like 3 to 4 double crochets in each one, and you'll still get that kind of oblong bobble effect. Okay, so here we go. We should have 16 yeah, on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all of those loops. Do it carefully because it's easy to snag or get stuck, or, you know, even then I think I caught a little one. Okay, then you're going to chain 1 to close the bobble, and you're going to need 2 more chains so that you can reach your row again. So there's going to be 3 chains. Single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to do a 5 double crochet bobble in the following stitch. And since you already know this one from doing it so many times already, I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead. Okay, we completed our 5 double crochet bobble, and now we are going to single crochet in the following stitch, and then we will do that big weird bobble again, and I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, so let's start with our first stitch. We are going to be working a 5 double crochet bobble into this first stitch, and we are going to stop when we have 6 loops on our hook. Now, as a reminder, it's a yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now we have 6 on our hook. We are going to keep them on our hook, and we are going to do 5 double crochet bobble in the next stitch. Now again, once we have our 5 double crochet halves for our bobble, we're going to leave those loops on our hook. At that point, we should have 11 loops. Finally, we're going to work into the third stitch. Same thing, 5 double crochet bobble. And again, at this point, your stitches may feel pretty tight on your hook. If your hook is not big enough to accommodate, remember you can just do 3 or 4 loops and then move on to your next stitch. So when you have all your loops, yarn over, pull through all the loops on your hook. Oops, got a little snag there. I don't want to do it again, so I'm going to make sure I get my yarn out of there. Okay, so you do a chain 1 to close, and then chain 2 more to be able to reach your row again. So then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. In the following stitch will be a 5 double crochet bobble, a regular one, not a big one. We're going to repeat this one more time actually with the large bobble and then the smaller bobble, and then we should have 1 stitch left to finish our row. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to there. Okay, so we're wrapping up the last 5 double crochet bobble, and we're going to single crochet in the last stitch of the row, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to be working back across. This is what your piece should look like so far. We have 1 more row, and then it's just going to be repeats throughout. So this row will be single crochets across, and they're a little tricky, so I'm going to show you how to get back across. So single crochet in that first stitch, and then just like before, we're going to be doing a single crochet in the top of the bobble, single crochet in the next single crochet. Now this one's a little tricky. You got a little chain space right here, and if we don't close it, we'll have a gap. So we're going to go through the edge of that last double crochet stitch we did, just through the edge of it, under the chain, and then we're going to single crochet 1. So we're going to need 2 more single crochets. So we need 1 in this little eye right here, which is our chain 1 space, and then 1 in the top of the bobble. So you need 3 single crochets for each of those giant bobbles. Okay, single crochet in the next single crochet, single crochet in the next bobble, And confession, I skipped the next single crochet and I had to go back and fix it. So otherwise, single crochet in that single crochet. But here's the big bobble again. Go into the side of that double crochet under the chain, single crochet 1, work 1 into the chain 1 space, and then work 1 into the top of the bobble. Okay, we'll be able to watch that one more time before we wrap this up. So we are going to do a single crochet in the single crochet space, single crochet in the bobble. Oops. Try that again. Single crochet in the single crochet space, and let's go through that big bobble again. Go through the side of the stitch right there and under the chain. Single crochet 1. Single crochet in the chain 1 space, and single crochet in the top of the bobble. All right, and we have 2 single crochets left, and we're going to finish up our row. All right, you have made it across. Okay, from here on out, we're actually just doing repeats of those rows. We're gonna start with our row 2 as our next row, and then we're gonna go all the way to row 7 and just repeat. And we're gonna keep going until this piece measures about 11 inches. So this is actually a really fun piece. The texture is just weird enough to look random, but it's not. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward so I can show you how to assemble it. Okay, and here we are with the finished piece ready to assemble. I did a total of 8 repeats across, and it was about 11 inches. A few of my testers got to 12, but either way, it should be fine. So we're going to leave our yarn attached, and I actually am going to attach these with a slip stitch. So we're going to fold it in half, and I like to put my right sides in, and then we are going to try to make this seam as inconspicuous as possible. If you don't like doing slip stitches, you can just stitch it however you like, but this is how I did it. We are going to go under the front loop of this one, and then over here on our other side, we are going to find that first stitch. Kind of hiding under there. We're going to go under this stitch and slip stitch together. Now, if you did your first row in the back bumps, you'll have 2 loops. I only have 1 because I just did in the regular stitch of my chain. But if you do have 2 loops, go into the back loop of your stitch. That's a style preference. If you did it that way, it's totally fine. Okay, so we are going under the front loop and then into the loop of the chain that I have on this side, or the back loop if you have a back loop. And we're just doing a slip stitch in each stitch across. Okay, moving ahead to the end of that join, this is what it should look like from the inside. Leave your yarn attached. We are going to use it, and you can just leave that tail alone. We'll tuck it on the inside. So we're going to need a good length of yarn. This is why I slip stitch. I don't really like seaming with a lot of tail, so this is why I chose the slip stitch join. So I need about 24 to 36 inches of yarn, and then you're just going to snip that, and you're going to need a tapestry needle at this point as well, so make sure you have one. So you're going to get this turned right side out and go ahead and thread your tapestry needle, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so from here we're going to go around this top edge. We're going to go in and out every 2 to 3, even 4 stitches. I'm just going to be weaving in and out all the way around one edge. So I'm going to speed it up just a smidge so we can get all the way to the start. And then we're going to cinch this closed. Now, I just want to say this doesn't have to be perfect. They don't have to line up evenly for this part because we're going to go over it again. It just needs to be even enough to cinch closed. Okay, so let's go ahead. We've gone all the way around this, and I'm going to just pull this thread tight, and it's going to close this hole down here, and this is going to be the bottom of our pumpkin. So as you can see, it's not all the way closed, and even pulling it tight doesn't close it all the way. So we're going to actually go around again. So go the same direction you just went, and we're just going to pick up a couple threads. Your goal here is just to pick up enough threads that you can pull that tail tight and cinch this hole all the way closed. So I apologize, I have a little gap in my video, but here it is all the way closed. I have gone around it 2 to 3 times. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the needle down through that hole that I just closed, and I'm going to pull it up through the other side. And then once I'm on this side, I'm going to secure my yarn. So I'm just going to like do a little tiny knot. So I'm just going through, I've just picked up a stitch and then I pulled here. That makes sure that the bottom of this pumpkin isn't going to like loosen up and give me a new hole after I finish. All right, so it's time to stuff. You will need some polyester stuffing. You can also use like old bits of yarn. What I like to do is actually just buy a cheap pillow from like Walmart and cut the stuffing out of it. You can also buy polyfill stuffing that's designed for this. Totally up to you. Then you're going to fill it until your pumpkin feels like the way you want it to feel. Some people like these to be more firm. You're going to need more stuffing for that. If you like it pretty squishy, you don't need as much. Just kind of stuff it, pinch the end close, and see where you like it. So I feel pretty good about this. I'm not showing a lot of stuffing through the sides. That's enough for me. So at this point, I'm also going to get a stem. So let me show you what I'm using. This is just a stick that I found in my front yard. So there's a lot of other stems you can use. I have a blog post that goes over a lot of different options, and I will link that for you below. But what I'm doing is I'm just sticking this into the center of the pumpkin and just kind of setting it there. Now I'm taking the tail. I pulled this up from the bottom, remember, so it's coming from the inside. And I'm going to do that same step where I weave in and out along the edge. And I'm going to do that all the way around the edge of this pumpkin so that I can cinch this end close as well. So here we go. And just like the other end, it's going to be 2 to 4 stitches in between each pass. And it doesn't have to be precise. You just kind of need to get this first pass done so it can cinch, and then we'll go around again. Okay, so here we are at the end, and we're just going to pull this tight. So we are kind of making sure our stem stays in the center, making sure all the stuffing is on the inside, kind of tucking it all in there, making sure it's where we want it to be, and then we're pulling this end tight. And we're going to have to go back around that opening to make sure that it stays tight. And it's kind of just the same as the bottom. Every few stitches, I'm going to go and just pick up a stitch. And I usually go around the stem area 2 to 3 times. You can also stop here and get a little bit of hot glue and hot glue your stem into place. If you're selling these or shipping them, this is a great idea because you don't want your stems to fall out in the shipping process or people to get them home and be like, hey, this fell apart. So hot glue is a great choice if you are not just setting these on a table or shelf at your own home. Okay, so I've gone around the stem a few times. She's nice and tight. And so this is where your seam is. And here's the front. And I like my pumpkins to kind of have a squished look. So this is a nice finishing option, totally optional. You don't have to do this, but I like to. You take that tapestry needle and go down through the center and out the bottom. And then once you get that out the bottom, you're going to pull it, pick up a little bit of fabric at the bottom and go back up to the top. So we're going to just push that tapestry needle up through the top and then back again down through the bottom one more time. So let's see here. Once we get that out of the bottom, we'll just pull that tail tight and it kind of makes like a little indent in the bottom and gives us more of an oval shape with our pumpkin versus a round one. So at this point, we are going to tie it off. And this is just a simple knot to make sure nothing comes undone. All right, the last thing is we just tuck that end, and we do that by just putting the tapestry needle up to the inside and out just anywhere random. and pull that off and snip the ends. The end is tucked inside of your pumpkin and adding to your stuffing, and you're all done. So let's take a quick look at our finished pumpkin. Here is the seam. As you can see, it's not too noticeable. You can kind of squeeze it together and just barely see it. And that's the front, and it's all finished. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed making this pumpkin. I will have the other 2 videos for the rest of the Ugly Gourds Trio set available soon. In the meantime, you can find this entire written crochet pattern on my blog at craftingforweeks.com, or you can purchase it in my Etsy or Ravelry shop. I will put the links for all of those in the description below, and until next time, happy crafting!